April 3rd, 2024. This is the S&P 500 E-Futures Mini on the 2000 tick chart using NinjaTrader 8. This is what the chart looked like today. Looked like in the beginning it was going to be range bound, and then it kind of rocketed up, stayed outside, made its own little range, I would say, kind of like a secondary range up here, then came back down and bounced around. There are 3 times in the day that economic data came out that kind of moved the markets. The first was at 5:15 Pacific Standard, which is about right here. Like it rose up and then sold off. It was the ADP Non-Farm Employment Change. And then at around 7 a.m., which is about right here where this big spike occurred and rally, this was the ISM Services PMI. And then Jerome Powell came out and gave a presser right around 9:10, which is a little bit of an odd time that would cause a little bit of a reaction here. And he was talking for a little bit of a while, so I'm not sure if this could be construed as his effect, but I didn't find too many trades today. I took one trade and I lost on it, but I look back and I feel like it was a reasonably okay trade to have taken. I'll take you through my thought process. There weren't that many other trades that I could find, so it should be relatively quick. But in the pre-market, you see this kind of just choppy price action. I did see this, but it was too late for me to try to take it. If this was during regular hours, this probably would have been a worthwhile trade to take. So you see this push down, break, and test of the new low. You also have a first entry long pullback, potential second entry long, and a triple test. So this might have been enough for you to think to take a trade, because if you're thinking the range, top of the range wasn't this high, but maybe right where this midline was, there's enough room to get back. It's a decent signal bar. Looks like I tried to break out of the range and failed, so this might have been a potential trade. Prices then continue moving. Goes into regular trading hours. You do have a new low here, first entry short, second entry short. This is a good signal bar to go short on, except it feels like I'm in a range still, so I'm not 100% sure I'm at the top of a range to go short on. And it looks like I'm within this trading channel, so not enough information, doesn't feel like a safe trade. We do have a new high, first entry long, second entry long. It's the same reason. It didn't quite touch the EMA. I am getting pressed pretty close to what I thought might have been the high of this potential range, which is the midline. Kind of chops around. It goes into this trading range. This isn't very clean price action. Then it breaks. So this is when the ISM Services PMI numbers were released. The market reacted positively and it flashed up. You really don't know that it's going to do that. So it's hard to say you should go long or short. It's just risky either way. And if you look from here to here, this is only 5 minutes of trading, and you can see how many candles have printed. Kind of goes up in this yellow channel, breaks out, tests and makes a new high, comes down on this orange channel, bounces, and at this point I'm thinking there might be like this spike in a green channel up here, which fits pretty nicely. Kind of oscillates. This is very tight trading. There's only about 1 to 2 points, so nothing really safe to feel like you get a scalp. Plus the EMA is starting to come up to crush it. Prices move up. Okay, this is actually where I get ready for my first trade. So I'm watching this. I'm noticing it's maybe within this green up channel. It looks like it's having trouble pressing up and meeting the highs now, because it was from the lows to the highs, made another attempt, back to the lows, made another attempt, and now it's having trouble. It looks like it's in a range, and it looks like it's having trouble pressing up. So what I saw was a new high, first entry long, pullback. I saw a second entry long. I saw a second entry long confirmation here. So now for sure I know it's a second entry long confirmed. I said there's enough room to scalp out before I get to the top. And that's where I thought prices were going, because EMA, there was a violation here and a violation here, but I'm thinking there might be just enough momentum to hit to the top. So I wanted to enter this trade, and I wanted to enter 1 tick above this green bar. So that's exactly where I entered. So when this bar opened, it flashed down, picked me up, and I thought, okay, this is great. I just needed to move pretty much 1 point up and I'll be good. It came up and then it flashed down and stopped me out. So that was kind of a bummer. I thought I read this correctly because there's also two legs down. So it pressed up, made one attempt up, second attempt up, or you could just see a break and a push up, and it made two legs down. I'm thinking it might make another attempt up. And so that's why I took this trade. It ended up being wrong. So it's a little unfortunate. I wasn't too bummed about it because I thought I read the chart correctly. Now, the thing that was going against me was the fact that this looked like it was having struggles getting higher. So maybe that would have been enough reason to pause and wait, or maybe just skip the trade altogether. But when you see this and you see this with such a good strong close, I'm thinking if I could quickly enter with a, squeak in with a quick little entry here, it's a small risk because my stop loss is just one tick below here, actually two ticks, and unfortunately I got stopped out. So then prices continue moving, breaks through, it kind of keeps going. So here, unfortunately it stopped me out early, and then it ended up going where I thought it was going to go, at least at 1 point tick, or 1 point trade. Here's a new high, say first entry long, second entry long, pullback, and then this creates a lower high. So this lower high, I saw it, but I hesitated on the thought of it at the time. I was thinking there was a potential short because it looked like it's kind of flattening again. EMA is starting to show some weakness, but it is holding support. What I like about this trade is it ticked one tick above, trapped everybody going first entry long, and then if they already went second entry long, thinking that's going to keep going up, it's already near the highs and went one tick above and then flashed down, closed very strong, engulfing. And then I didn't take the trade and I was watching it because I was concerned that it could hit some kind of support here. It's getting a little congested. EMA is starting to flatten out. It's a little hard for me to read. But then when I saw this and I thought, okay, there was probably a possible trade here. And unfortunately, it already moved too far for me to feel confident chasing it at that point. But it turns out it would have been a very fantastic trade if you did take it. Here, Jerome Powell's coming out to say some things and it kind of gets really choppy and whipsaw, so no trade zone. Prices push up. There's no clean second entries that I like. Gets to the top here and it comes flashing back down. Unfortunately, there's nothing there for you. You could say there's a new high here. It's a first entry long, second entry long, but when you see this with such a strong reaction down, it's still within this green channel. To go long here feels dicey, but it looked like it would have worked, but you don't know that in real time. And then, you get pretty much piano keys after that, side by side, and it's hard to really trade something like this. This is a really strong push down, then a really strong push up. Now, when I did see this, I was thinking, just on a whim, there should be probably a long trade here. Unfortunately, it's running into the EMA because it's showing that after this reaction down, it took it all back and then some, and it closed very bullish. But you can make the same argument about this. It had a really strong push up, and it pretty much engulfed it and made a very strong push down, and it pushed past this green bar. When I saw this, I was thinking, this previous bar just did the same thing in the opposite direction. Who's to say and who's to know that the next bar after this green one won't be another very big red bar coming down? Because it could have been Q&A, it could have been Jerome Powell saying something, it could have been anything because Jerome Powell started speaking right here. So this is just very, I I was on a whim thinking like, oh, there's enough momentum here to get a quick scalp, but I knew better than to just jump on it just because it's hard to really know for sure. Of course, it does move up. The market likes to prove me wrong because I'm not very good at this. And prices just keep chopping. Kind of bounces, holds on the EMA, enters this trading range. No clear entries because there is a second entry, first entry long here. Second entry long, but it's a bad signal bar. It's too neutral. It's in this range. It just doesn't feel clean. It's just very tight trading. Pops around and it starts selling off. So it's a first entry long, second entry long. Nothing here is telling me to go long though. This isn't a good signal bar. This one is even less convincing because it's inside neutral and it's on a bearish trend going down at the moment. Bounces, it's a new low, count resets. You could say it's a first entry long, potential second entry long, but you're running into a potential resistance of this yellow downtrend and the EMA is coming into play. Nothing too nothing that's appealing to trade. breaks out of this yellow channel, breaks down, has this really big overshoot. I just drew another orange leg down. It's hard to know where it's going to end, but it finds this end here, makes a first entry short, but you could also say it's a lower high. But I don't know, and I'm not convinced yet that it's ready for reversal because this is an overshoot. It could push back and through to the other side. Now, EMA is coming in, so I didn't want, after you see this down and flash up, I mean, this was a really small candle, but you really don't know what's happening until, it's pressing so high up. Definitely feels too late to try to chase this. And I wouldn't want to enter way down here hoping to get a better fill because then you're asking prices to come all the way down, pick you up, and then reverse all that momentum all the way back up. So I just felt like, okay, there's no trade here, let it go. Drops around. It gets kind of convoluted, a little ugly, and then it pretty much moves in the last 30 minutes of the day, which doesn't offer that much more setups, and something feels risky just, taking the last, especially the last 10 minutes where it's really choppy. So I didn't see too many setups. The one setup I did take that I thought was decent, I lost on, and that happens sometimes. So overall, it was kind of a slow day. Hopefully trading gets better tomorrow, and hopefully this was helpful.